Chapter 16. India Wins Freedom. The Indian National Congress, Incorporated, did not initially try for independence, but instead drew the attention of the British to the problems faced by the Indians. The Incorporated believed that the British would realize that their demands were fair, and would thus introduce reforms in the country. The British rulers were not happy with increasing popularity of the leaders of the Indian National Congress. They made laws and used the policy of divide and rule to suppress the demand of reforms. Till 1905, the leadership of the Congress remained in the hands of men who were moderate in their attitude. Moderates believed in methods of patience and persuasion. Later leaders like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Gopala Krishna Gokhale, Chittaranjan Das, Voc Pillai, Lala Lajpat Rai, and Bipin Chandra Pal joined the Indian National Congress. They awakened the Indian masses with their fiery speeches and demanded immediate action. They were called the Radicals. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal, called Lal Bal Pal, were the three popular leaders of the Radicals. It was Tilak who once said, "Swaraj is my birthright, and I shall have it." He educated Indians about their rights. The British rulers arrested leaders several times, but this gave more strength to the Congress leaders and Indians. Partition of Bengal. The feeling of nationalism was strengthening in India. This became a cause of worry for the British, and they adopted the policy of divide and rule. On the 20th of July 1905, the partition of Bengal was announced by Lord Curzon, the Viceroy of India at that time. One part of it would have Muslims as a majority and the other would have Hindus. Swadeshi movement. In 1905, Bengal was divided by the British. As a reaction against the partition of Bengal, Indians launched a protest against British-made goods. They vowed to use only Swadeshi, Indian-made, goods. This was the Swadeshi movement. The students boycotted schools and colleges, and joined the Swadeshi movement. People burned foreign goods and clothes. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal believed in taking extreme action against the British. According to them, the Swadeshi movement was a great political weapon against the British rule. Soon the Swadeshi movement spread all over the country. The British took steps to crush the movement. Many leaders were arrested and imprisoned. Khudiram Bose, a student, was arrested and hanged. The British government restricted organizing public meetings. Jallianwala Bagh. In 1919, the British passed a new law called the Rollat ACT. Under this act, any person could be arrested and imprisoned without a trial. Gandhiji and other Congress leaders asked the people to oppose the law and held meetings and demonstrations. On the 13th of April 1919, a peaceful public meeting was organized at the Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar. Thousands of men, women and children attended the meeting. General Dyer blocked the only exit of the park and asked his troops to fire at the crowd. Thousands were killed, which included women and children as well. The country was shocked, and Gandhiji now firmly believed that India should demand complete independence or punish Swaraj. The Non-Cooperation Movement. Gandhiji and Indian people were much hurt by the Jallianwala incident. Gandhiji decided to launch the Non-Cooperation Movement that started in 1920. The people were asked not to cooperate with the British government. Thousands of students from every part of India left their schools and colleges to join the movement. Leading lawyers like Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das boycotted the courts. Hundreds of people left government jobs and joined the movement. Subhash Chandra Bose resigned from the Indian civil service. Thus, the Non-Cooperation Movement was a great success. However, in 1922, a small town called Chauri Chaura in the district of Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh became the scene of a violent clash between the police and some processionists. The processionists attacked the police station and set it on fire, killing 22 policemen. Gandhiji was greatly shocked at this incident because he was in favor of a peaceful, non-violent movement. So, he suspended the non-cooperation movement immediately. The prominent leaders who took part in the non-cooperation movement were Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Sarojini Naidu, C. Rajgopalachari, Motilal Nehru and Chittaranjan Das. Young leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose were the gifts of this movement. The British government arrested Mahatma Gandhi in 1922. He pleaded guilty and asked for a severe punishment. He was convicted to 6 years imprisonment and confined to the Yerwada Central Jail in Pune. But he was unconditionally released in 1924 for reasons of health. Simon Commission. Since there was widespread unrest in India, the British introduced certain changes in the governance. As a result, a committee was formed under Sir Simon to make necessary modifications to the existing laws. However, as there was no Indian in the commission, people decided to boycott it. The commission came to India in 1928 and was greeted with demonstrations and slogans of Simon Go Back. Civil Disobedience Movement. The Indian National Congress demanded complete independence or Purna Swaraj from the British. Prominent leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Sarojini Naidu and Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad urged the people to work towards attaining complete independence. They also started a new movement called the Civil Disobedience Movement under the leadership of Gandhiji. Gandhiji started civil disobedience movement by breaking the unjust salt law. He walked up to the sea coast at Dandi near Rollat and broke the law by making and collecting salt. Thousands of men and women, all over the country, took active part in this movement. This journey of Gandhiji was called Dandi March. The Dandi March was a very significant challenge to the British rulers, and it gave rise to the more widespread civil disobedience movement. Quit India Movement. The Quit India Movement was launched in India in August 1942, in response to Gandhiji's call for immediate independence. Gandhiji asked the people to do or die. Many leaders were arrested. The revolutionaries at this time were Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Subh Chandra Shekhar Azad, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and many others. Indian National Army. Subhash Chandra Bose was a prominent Congress leader. He was twice elected President of the Indian National Congress. He believed in direct action against the British rulers. He was arrested but managed to escape from imprisonment. He reached Germany via Afghanistan. From there, he went to Japan. There he organized the Indian National Army, Azad Hind Fauj, to overthrow the British from India. He gave the famous slogans, Jai Hind and Dilli Chalo. His slogan, "Give me your blood and I will give you freedom," inspired many people to jump into the freedom movement. He is popularly known as Netaji. India became free. By the time World War II ended in 1945, the British realized that they could no longer keep the Indians in their control. The Quit India Movement and the Indian National Army had shaken them. They agreed to move out of India and started discussions with the Congress and the Muslim League. The divide and rule policy of the British had been successful in dividing the Hindus and Muslims. The Muslim League, under the leadership of Jinnah, demanded a separate nation for the Muslims. Gandhiji was against the division of India. India got her independence on 15th of August 1947, but was divided into two nations, India and Pakistan. Gandhiji was heartbroken. His dream of a united India had been shattered.